Jury selection began today in the Manhattan District Attorney's trial against Donald Trump's company, charged with tax fraud and falsifying documents. If convicted on all counts, Trump's corporation could be fined $1.6 million. It's funny, isn't it, how corporations are people, according to the Supreme Court, except when there's a criminal trial, then they just have to pay fines. Alan Weisselberg, the chief financial officer for Trump's company, pleaded guilty to 15 felony charges over the summer and is expected to be the star witness in this trial. Weisselberg agreed to serve 5 months in jail, that's good, and pay $1.5 million in back taxes and testify in this trial openly, not plead the fifth, or he would face anywhere between 5 to 15 years in prison. This is an interesting trial that we should pay attention to. Fascists, and let's again make no mistake about this, the GOP is now the party of fascists, and they succeed in first creating doubt about the integrity of elections. That way, when they lose, they can claim the election was stolen. They also sow doubt in our criminal justice system so that when they lose in court, they can claim they're the victims of massive fraud. And if anyone's an expert on massive fraud, it would be Devin Nunes, who currently heads Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media disaster, which faces several investigations. The Securities and Exchange Commission and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority are all investigating Devin Nunes's Truth Social, Donald Trump's Truth Social, for fraud. And so is a separate grand jury. Odd that a former president and Devin Nunes would be accused of fraud. And so, like election fraud, the Republicans immediately start saying our justice system is broken. They claim there's a two-tier justice system. There's a two-tier justice system, one for Democrats and one for Republicans. Here is the head of Truth Social, the former House chairman of the House, the Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who covered up for Donald Trump. So he was given about $1 million a year to defraud investors in Truth Social. Here is Devin Nunes on Fox News talking about how hard it is to get a fair trial these days, how hard it is for Republicans to get a fair trial.
If you get tried as a Republican in one of the large cities, large jurisdictions in this country, there is a high likelihood that you are going to be on the losing side of that argument in court. And this is what's developed now, is this two-tier justice system.
Right. There's no two-tier system for, black people, people of color, poor people. There's just a two-tier justice system for Democrats and Republicans. But don't take Devin Nunes's word for it about our two-tier justice system. He's in trouble with the law. So, of course, he's going to complain about a two-tier justice system. Nunes is just priming the sympathy pump for when he gets indicted. But you need to listen to this guy.
Where we've basically criminalized politics just on the Democrat side, kind of like the secret police do in fascist countries.
Yes, Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, a former New York prosecutor, says that the Democrats have criminalized politics. I didn't know that. The Democrats are locking up, I guess, their political opponents for no crime other than being Republicans. And that's horrible. We're like a banana republic. Go ahead, oh wise, sober, and not completely batshit crazy Rudy Giuliani. What should we do about this?
Why is Hillary Clinton not prosecuted? How is Joe Biden not prosecuted? What's Joe Biden doing sitting in the White House rather than prison? He's a major criminal.
I see. So the way to stop the criminalization of politics is to arrest Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a major criminal. I get it. Lock him up. I see. Yes, the criminalization of politics can only be prevented by criminalizing politics. Seems counterintuitive, but Rudy Giuliani, He's smart. He's playing three-dimensional cirrhosis of the liver. He's such a great legal mind. Great guy, not insane, not broke, doesn't owe back alimony, no drinking problem, the exemplar of moral rectitude. Do you realize the best day in Rudy Giuliani's entire life was 9/11? He sees videos of the World Trade Center coming down and goes, good times, good times. Well, Sidney Powell is an attorney.
And the lawfare has just been atrocious, for example.
Sidney Powell is an attorney. She's now facing disbarment from the legal profession, and that's really hard to get disbarred in America. For a lawyer to get disbarred, you got to be really bad. But she's facing disbarment in Texas from the legal profession, and she's being sued by Dominion Voting Systems for defamation. I think it's for hundreds of millions of dollars. She doesn't have that kind of money. She's just a crusading attorney who defended General Michael Flynn, and the two of them are loyal members of QAnon. I mean, her integrity speaks for itself. And yet, just because she tried to steal the election in 2020 for Donald Trump, she's got one lawsuit after another because the Democrats have criminalized politics.
And the lawfare has just been atrocious. For example, over 19 people, I think it is now, filed grievances against me with the Texas Bar Association, which decided to elevate those grievances to a lawsuit that has been filed against me in Texas state court now. They want to make us toxic in our communities, to destroy our reputations, to eliminate our ability to earn a livelihood. And it's not just me, but multiple other lawyers that now have to defend ourselves. If they're able to eliminate the ability of lawyers to stand in the gap for individuals who are unpopular for any reason or who seek to challenge fraud or the common viewpoint, we are in very serious trouble.
Ooh, poor oxygen-deprived baby. It's lawfare. That's what it is. There's a two-tier justice system, one for the people who obey the law and one for dangerously ambitious right-wing degenerates like Sidney Powell. It's not fair, I tell ya. It ain't fair. The January 6th committee subpoenaed Donald Trump on Friday, ordering him to testify. Will he obey the subpoena? Steve Bannon didn't. And last week he was sentenced to 6 months in jail for contempt of Congress. Will Trump obey the subpoena? Will he testify, or is he above the law? Is there a three-tier justice system? Let's ask Nancy Pelosi.
I have to ask you about the January 6th committee. On Friday, they officially subpoenaed Donald Trump. Do you think he'll actually appear for the deposition? And what does it say to the American people if he doesn't?
I don't think he's man enough to show up.
I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, I literally could not hear what you said.
I said, you asked me if I thought he was going to show up. And I said, I don't think he's man enough to show up. I don't think his lawyers will want him to show up because he has to testify under oath. But I don't think he'll show up. I don't think he's man enough. We'll see. Let's see if he's man enough to show up.
Ooh, Nancy Pelosi challenging Donald Trump's manhood. She's challenging his manhood. Nancy Pelosi, we know who wears the pantsuit in that family. Nancy Pelosi. You know, I lived in San Francisco, and Nancy Pelosi was my congressperson. And one of the things anyone from San Francisco knows is that there is a precise definition of what constitutes manhood. That's what I lived in San Francisco for 15 years. And what I learned in San Francisco is that the definition of manhood is strength. A man is tough. And all the people who support Nancy in San Francisco, we're all on board the LGBTQ rights. And, and we know, and we tell all the boys growing up in San Francisco, there is only one type of man, and that man is tough. He is a fighter. And women are only looking for men who are tough, men who are strong. That's what it means to be a man. What a brilliantly consistent mind Nancy Pelosi has, representing San Francisco, which has been a beacon to every troubled gay man in America. Come to San Francisco, come to Nancy Pelosi, San Francisco, and you can be the man you want to be. As long as it's a tough man, a strong man, a macho man, a man who doesn't back down from a fight, because there is only one definition of manhood in Nancy Pelosi, San Francisco. And if you walk away from fights, if you back down, you're not a man. Good choice of words, Nancy. You're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant, Nancy Pelosi.
It's all talk.